This is a very interesting one. So apparently, Olivia Rodrigo's ex was hospitalized with heart failure after she released driver's license. So I read up on this a little bit ago, and it's interesting. But Joshua Bassett, who was on the set of High School Musical, the series where they met, um, basically, long story short, when she released driver's license, which is kind of a breakup song thing and everything about them, but not officially about them. It's one of those on the nose things. People speculated it was about him, this and that, and kind of piled on him for like a week about the song like, and stuff. Yeah,
I'm gonna try not to do like a heady "we live in a society" commentary about this, but
of course,
for as long as pop has existed, breakup songs have been written, and those breakup songs are based in some era of reality. And there's always been a complete tabloid industry built around figuring out what the pop artist of the day is really talking about in between his or her lyrics all the time. And so that isn't anything new. What's new is the fact that back when we were limited to gossip columns on magazines on the check stand, the people who would read those magazines could not have like a direct line to the person they're talking about.
To the subject of the thing.
Yeah. Then in 2007, a guy named Jack Dorsey really wanted to send all of his friends a message about his food, and we've been living in hell ever since. And so, yeah, Twitter now exists, social media now exists, and it's very easy for anyone to see opinions about anything. We can all see other people's opinions about a celebrity. I can see opinions about myself when I make certain videos. That's a fun ride. But when you are the subject of, like, to say it was a massively popular pop song was an understatement.
It's an understatement, yeah.
It is, and I don't like to do, superlative, like, overstatements unless I really mean it. It was the biggest song in the world, like, full stop,
like 100%.
For months.
Yeah.
So that level of vitriol and hatred of people taking it upon their own right because stans are fucking nuts and stan culture is completely unhealthy and toxic on the internet. You take all those people who then take it upon themselves to defend Olivia Rodrigo in a breakup and threaten this kid's life. Like, listen, I like making Disney stars uncomfortable like 6 times before I wake up in bed in the morning. But there's no need to tell like a 19-year-old or whatever that he should video game himself because of a like breakup situation with a pop star. Like, I think, yeah, sure, you can say all these things and unhinged and you feel like you're anonymous, so it feels like it's less of an issue, but we're accidentally burying the lead here. All of this stuff that was happening with Joshua Bassett was so intense that he ended up going to the hospital and basically nearly had heart failure.
Yeah, he had septic shock because of all of the stress and everything of the entire world being like, you're a little bitch, basically. Yeah.
The doctors were like, if you had,
it's crazy.
The doctors were like, if you hadn't checked in within 12 hours, you would have died in your apartment. Fuck. To make matters worse, Bassett was trying to launch his own solo career and had long prepared to drop a song scheduled a week after when Driver's License dropped.
And it was called Lie, Lie, Lie.
And so when the song dropped, when the song dropped, everyone was like, the entire bar turns their head towards you, raises their fists, because they thought it was a diss track. They thought it was a response because it was just the worst timing ever. And so,
coincidence.
This all goes to say that, and I see this in other aspects of the internet too, especially like in certain subcultures of Twitter, like you have like LGBTQ Twitter and like Black Twitter and all those other things. These subcultures will eat each other alive off of like very minor different things. And what you don't see is that like these have real consequences for people's mental health and their sanity. And it can't just be taken for granted that like you say these things out on the internet and you feel like it's fun because you can get some meaningless internet points, i.e. Likes, retweets, shares, followers, whatever. But to what point? I say wild shit, sometimes really hurtful shit, but I'm usually doing it to powerful people to make a point, politically speaking. And that's like using the tools of the game to subvert a message into what I hopefully think is good. But if you're just a fan and you're telling another like artist to like off themselves because of a song that was made, you are lost in the sauce.
It's just crazy.
I mean,
insane.
We start the podcast by saying like "Hello, humans." It's a nod to the fact that we music listeners are human people, we're regular people. We should try to look at the humanity in people before we send them death threats. And if you're gonna do that, at least send them to Tory Lanez.
I would say you got Chris Brown, Tory Lanez, like
there's a wide variety of options here.
You've got a wide variety you could go with, like.
Yeah.
At least pick a beater, goddammit.
Yeah. Audioface does not condone bullying or violence of any form. Don't copyright strike us, YouTube. Anyways.
Yeah, please don't. We don't need any more strikes.
Not again. Wouldn't it rock?
You got to strike again? Again.
Wouldn't it rock if our 2 strikes on Audioface were, oh, well, we made fun of Kid Rock and we were bullying DaBaby and Chris Brown and Tory Lanez, and YouTube discipline struck us for that. That would be wild.